Welcome back to another episode and the first one of the 2019-20 season of On the Bench, presented by The Bench Market, joined by Vees President, General Manager, and Head Coach Fred Harbinson. And Fred, you've been in Penticton now going into your 13th season here with the Vees. I know you were born in Calgary, but does Penticton feel like your hometown now for how long you've been here?
Oh, definitely. Like you said, I grew up in Calgary, went away when I was basically 19 years old, and lived in the U.S. a long time, a couple years back in Fernie in British Columbia as well when I coached, back in, late 90s. But now 13 years, getting into my 13th season here, a lot of special memories and hopefully more to come.
More to come, you mentioned, and obviously the team's shaping up in a positive direction here as we move forward into main camp, and then obviously these 3 games throughout this week into preseason, and then jumping into the regular season. It seems like, the summer has just kind of flown by with that, and obviously the regular season starting next week. But how are things shaping up for the team here over the course of the start of the year?
Yeah, at our level, it's an interesting animal because, obviously this year we had a long off season, and but you're grinding for a lot of it. A lot of people think you're taking time off, but if you're doing a good job, you're recruiting quite a number of months in the off season, and you have a little bit of time off. And but then when the guys show up and when they get here, I mean, there's not a lot of time with our league. The way when they come into camp and when regular season starts, there's not a lot of time to get your systems in and your kind of your personnel moved in the right seat, so to speak. And but I think we've done a good job. We've got a great staff, a young staff. They're excited to get going, and a lot of new faces on the team.
Obviously, Fred Harbinson, an Italian name. I know your family has a lot of Italian heritage. Your mom has to be one outstanding cook. If you have a go-to meal from her, what is that?
Well, I'm half Italian because Harbinson's not really Italian, but Turcaso is her maiden name, and yeah, she moved to Canada when I think my mom was like 7 or 8, and her whole family unbelievable cooks, and actually both sides of my family. My dad's mom was a great cook as well, and probably growing up it was ravioli was kind of the go-to, the way they made it, and there's many different. I know my buddies a lot of times the pizza. I'd be gone at university, and I'd call back, and all of a sudden I'd hear my friends over at the house and eating at my mom's house. So you know what? Actually, my parents are coming this weekend, so hopefully I'll get some home cooked meals from my mom.
Obviously, as well on the bench, you've got a reputation as a bit of a stern coach, but does that translate over to home as well?
You know what? I think it's a little blown up. I mean, I have a little bit of old school in me as far as I preach discipline as far as the way we act and conduct our day, and hopefully it sort of filters onto the ice. But I think my job here is to to make these guys good citizens and good young men. And then at home, I expect the same out of my kids. And I have 2 kids. My son's 19 years old, so kind of the same age as these guys. He's an NCAA lacrosse player. I'm real proud of what he's sort of become, and I got a 7-year-old daughter that hopefully follows the same way in whatever she wants to do. She does swimming, she's getting into piano, and I just try to, same with my players here, I just try to give them guidance and kind of show them the right way to go.
You've been coaching for a long time. I know this might be a tough question, but if you weren't on the bench, where do you think you would be?
That's a great question. It's a scary one, probably a little bit for me, because when I went to university, I was thinking about being a school teacher, and I was probably a PE teacher or something, and but probably now I look back at it now, it probably would be something in some sort of sales or something. I mean, recruiting's a lot about selling your program, so maybe something like that. But I feel like I'm blessed, to be involved in the game of hockey and being part of a team. Basically since I was a little kid till now at the age of 47. So, when you look around this great facility here and the ownership that we have, I'm glad I'm not doing anything else.
I've heard that you go to the bench market quite often this summer on Saturdays. What's your go-to meal at the bench?
You know what? I'm a little bit all over. For a while there, I was, the bench Benny, but when you start getting up in age, you got to watch those extra calories. So I kind of mix it around a little bit, but they have great coffee there. Stuart's awesome, and it's one of those neat places that kind of shows what Penticton's all about. And whenever I have friends that come into town from out of town, I try to tell them that we should go there, and they love it.
Appreciate your time. Thanks, Fred.
All right, thank you.
Join me next week. We'll have Vees' newly announced captain, David Cilia, on the bench.